Welcome to West Wing Week.
Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and beyond. This week, the president returned from his fifth and final NATO summit in Warsaw, Poland. He traveled to Dallas to speak at a memorial service honoring the sacrifice of 5 fallen police officers and hosted a meeting at the White House to talk about issues of race, policing, and justice. That's July 8th to July 14th, or One American Family.
I see what's possible when we recognize that we are one American family.
Our West Wing Week begins in Warsaw, Poland, where the president met with the leaders of the 28-member NATO alliance to craft a robust response to the changing security environment in Europe. Then on Saturday night, he headed to Spain. On Sunday, or Dominguez, the president met with King Felipe, embassy staffers and their families, and interim President Rajoy before heading to Naval Station Rota, where he toured the USS Ross and addressed service members and their families who had gathered in Hangar Number 5 to see the Commander-in-Chief.
The one thing that I have learned during the time that I've had the privilege to be the President of the United States is that the American people are good and they are decent. And I am absolutely confident that people of goodwill will ultimately overcome those forces that seek to divide and destroy us. Can we find the character as Americans to open our hearts to each other? Because with an open heart, we can learn to stand in each other's shoes and look at the world through each other's eyes. So that maybe the police officer sees his own son in that teenager with a hoodie who's kind of goofing off but not dangerous. And maybe the teenager will see in the police officer the same words and values and authority of his parents. For it turns out we do not persevere alone. Our character is not found in isolation. And that's what I take away from the lives of these outstanding men.
What we can do is to set up the kinds of respectful conversations that we've had here, not just in Washington, but around the country, so that we institutionalize a process of continually getting better. It's going to take a while to get to the point where we want to be, but nobody's more hopeful than me. I'm Mr. Hope.
We end this week dining with the First Lady and kids from across the country at this year's Kids State Dinner.
When I was 3 years old, I learned that eating healthy was like throwing a party for your belly. So thank you, First Lady, for allowing us all to have a party in our bellies today and inspiring us to eat healthy every day.
Remember to stay engaged with us online. As always, thanks so much for checking out this edition of your West Wing Week.
Oh, that's a nice boat. Look at this. The SS Obama. Come on, man. Sit down. Come on, man. Quick. They're going to lose it soon. Cheese.